What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Pnoid News. Man, listen, it's nighttime. Called into work today and having to work. So I figured, I'd make a proper video for y'all. I saw the video from Aaron Clary recently. I've been watching a bunch of his stuff. I don't know. Sometimes YouTube goes to like its spouts of recommending, different things. As it work, like it is what it is. But this one here in particularly bothered me a lot, right? Because libertarianism is the dumbest, most retarded liberal shit. And it is the cause of all the things that we're all bitching about. And nobody has any idea about it. So I'm gonna tell you what, we're gonna get into this video and I'm gonna chime in as we go through. Let's rock.
You're such an asshole!
Hello, children. We have a good philosophical, political, economic question about libertarianism. And so I had to sit and kind of think about it a little bit. And then I'm like, oh, wait, it's this. And I'm like, oh, okay, there we go. Serves me right for not thinking with my old brain. From our Italian agent in the field, I'm starting to believe libertarianism is a privilege of high IQ individuals. Furthermore, if most people are complete NPC retards, we need to orient society towards conservatism, since most people will trend towards degeneracy as we are seeing today. If we are to take the view of do whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt anyone approach, people will do drugs, drink, and not be productive members of society. What are your thoughts? My immediate thought after reading it the second time was like, so? And so what we have to do is we have to remove theoretical, academic, general intent philosophy. What is the core philosophy of libertarianism? And remove it from whatever political economic system is currently implemented today in the U.S. or wherever else. So let's remove, we don't live in the United States anymore. We don't live in here. Let's just talk about libertarian. Libertarianism is ultimately maximum freedom, maximum personal responsibility. And so if people are idiots and they make dumb choices, how is that my problem?
Okay, so all right, let's get into this. Okay, so here's the thing, right? And this is highly important to understand. When you live in a community, right? Like you don't like live off in the woods by yourself somewhere, right? Which is a different thing altogether, right? Like you live off in the woods by yourself somewhere. You can do whatever it is, that you do. Nobody else affects you. Depending on if you're, like connected to a company and you make money, things of this nature. You're still gonna probably have to go to town to, get goods and supplies from time to time because there's no man is an island, right? You have to be like, you're not going to be growing your own food, being a blacksmith, like a machinist, like having, the ability to like make gasoline, kerosene, propane, electricity, all the things you need for like your modern life, Wi-Fi, communications, all this stuff, right? You're not going to be able to do that as, like a random individual, right? In the end of the day, it's just not going to happen. So with that being said, you have to be connected to, like a society and a community, right? It is what it is, right? Now, we could scale back, like the whole technological thing, right? As an in general thing. Like you could scale back all the technology and all the stuff that's come over the past 50 years, with telecommunications and cable TV and all that. And I'd be fine. I understand that mentality. As long as like you leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. I get that. But the problem is you still live in a community, right? With other human beings, right? And when other human beings are affected by things, it affects you, right? This is a basic thing, right? When your neighbor is hurting, he's going to be looking at your stuff when you have it, right? You have things, your neighbor doesn't have things. He's going to be eyeball fucking your things. Right, and you go, well, then, like I fucking shoot him. Well, then guess what? He has a brother and a cousin and an uncle who's going to go, well, you shot my cousin, uncle, brother, whatever it is, right? These are the type of things that you have to worry about, right? Because then you're just ending up with like the Wild West, which again, I'm good with because I'm a fucking savage. I can get it done too in the end of the day, right? So having this ideology is fucking dumb because, you know, you're a little tiny motherfucker. I can hang you upside down and shake the coins out your pockets. It's not an intelligent thing that has to be left alone. Like it's just not, right? And this is the problem. Like you have to be responsible for your community, right? And this is the thing. You go, well, why do I care? Well, because when other people are doing drugs, they don't make rational decisions. When other people are doing drugs, they start fires, they catch your house on fire, all these type of things. That's why you have to care. Because when they're doing drugs and they're driving around the neighborhood, they hit your kid, they hit your dog, they hit your cat, they hit your fucking house, your car. These are the problems that we talk about. And like, this is the issue with libertarianism, right? In the end of the day, it's that this is what got us to where we are today, is the whole idea, like you can do whatever you want and have freedom and whatever it is, right? No. You're not supposed to be able to live wherever you want to live. You're supposed to have a community that judges whether or not you're allowed to come in and judges whether or not you can fucking stay. That's just reality of things. It is what it is. And I understand, like, there's a lot of complications with this type of shit, right? I get it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you want Megan law offenders living in your neighborhood? But they grew up in that neighborhood. Right? There's a lot of complications with this shit. This is where we require like societal action. We require like governments and things of this nature to be able to like adjust how we live and be able to set up things that, you know what I mean, allow individuals to, you know what I mean, be okay. But that requires you to have some responsibility. Let's keep going with this video, man. Let's keep rocking.
How is this my responsibility? You know, someone decides to major in English and signs a $200,000 student loan debt at 7%, and she gets fat and lippy, so not even a guy can bail her out. Now she wants a student loan. It's not my problem. It's not my problem. Same thing, you know, whatever.
Well, all right, let me say this, right? All right. So look, do I think people that took out bad loans should be responsible for them? Okay. Think about it like this, right? Okay, so if you get caught selling weed or coke or whatever it is at 18 years old, right? Should you be judged for that at 40? That's a mental, you know what I mean? Like that you should probably have at the end of the day, right? So this mentality of going like, you know, oh man, you should be responsible for all the things that you did at 18 years old. And I understand like rape, murder, robbery, all this type of stuff, right? And even like a murder thing, like it's still iffy. At the end of the day, assaults are still iffy. Robbery at 18 still iffy, right? Like let's say you got drunk at 18, you know what I mean, and like somebody died in a car accident you were in. Like, should you do murder the rest of your fucking life? Should you be held responsible for that until you're 50? No. It's not, that doesn't build good societies, right? You know, like, and these are the type of things we had these conversations about. Now, so here's the mentality, right? Okay. The problem is this. I don't think the government should be bailing out the loans. I think the college should be responsible for the fucking loan. Because the college gave out a whole bunch of diplomas that were fucking worthless, right? And didn't make the student aware that that degree was going to be worthless. Right? You basically sold somebody something that was complete garbage for a whole lot of fucking money. And now they're responsible for it the rest of their life. And you're blaming that 18-year-old fucking kid who was sold any degree is a good degree. That's the mentality that we should probably have. Let the colleges pay for the shit, right? And if our colleges all end up going bankrupt, then they all go fucking bankrupt. It is what it is. And they'll stop doing this. And that's how you correct this fucking problem. So it's kind of like this, right? If an automaker sells a whole bunch of cars that break the fuck down, right? And everybody defaults on their goddamn car payments. Now, granted, this should go on their credit. Like, it shouldn't be something where, like, you know, it should be taken out of your fucking paycheck. It should go on your fucking credit, you know what I mean? You should be able to bankrupt it the fuck off. You know what I mean? Just like anything the fuck else, right? And then, that car maker loses all the money on that fucking loan. Or the bank that, you know what I mean, wrote the loans, whatever it is, right? That automaker all of a sudden ain't selling cars no fucking more, and they're not going to end up, you know what I mean, being in business. Right? And that's why, like, we have, like, rules against, like, lemon laws, where if you sell a car that, you know what I mean, came from the factory that was utter and complete garbage, right? In the end of the day, like if you sold a fucking car that was just trash, right? Like you sold it and it like didn't like it was missing clutch plates and shit, the transmission, right? Or like there was pistons missing, or somebody didn't put the wrist pins in, and like you fired it up and the motor exploded, right? Some shit like this happened. Like you put it in the drive and like fucking it just boom, the whole thing just exploded, right? If something like this happens, right, it's not your fault. Like legitimately, you bought a bad thing. You didn't know you were buying a bad thing, right? And then you're the car maker's responsible. Why aren't the colleges responsible for this shit? Like this is some basic stuff that we're not having. Why aren't the colleges responsible for what the fuck it is they sold to the people? Why? Why are we charging these kids? Like why? Like yo, what is wrong with us? Like yo, for fuck's sake.
Whatever, that's more financial. But let's talk about social. If a woman wants to have an abortion, I honest to God don't care. I might have some moral qualms with it, but that's not me. You're not someone I know. I don't care. Get out. I don't even want to worry about it. Get out of my face. Someone wants to want to.
Now, I 100% agree with this mentality, right? So, well, here's what I think should happen. So, if you have an abortion, right, the family should be able to sue and go like, you robbed us of a grandchild, a cousin, a nephew, a niece, and whatever it is, a brother, a sister, all that type of things, right? The community should be able to sue and say like, hey, you robbed us of a citizen. These type of things, right? Because, you know, like you are tied to that community. Now, do I care if somebody in California has an abortion? No, because I don't live in California and I don't care about Californians, right? If everybody in California died tomorrow, I know a couple of y'all are my subs and whatever, man, I love y'all, but like I probably wouldn't fucking care at the end of the day, right? Because it's not going to really affect me. So that's kind of where that gets down to as far as shit's really concerned. Like, I don't know anybody in California. I'm not personally attached to it. You shouldn't care about people that you're not personally attached to. 100%, right? But people in your community, if someone in your community is suffering, like I say, like, you know, 2 doors down from you, your neighbor's house burns the fuck down, right? Like, and you see them out in the street and they're standing there watching your shit. Like, their kids are sitting there crying and hungry. You're not going to feed them? Like, what type of human being are you? In the end of the day, right? Like, it shouldn't just be on, like, the government to provide for them. Like, oh, it should be on the community, too. Like, the community should stand there and take care of its own. The family should take care of its own. That's how stuff is supposed to work. Let's keep rocking.
Want a gun? All right, I don't care. Go do your thing, whatever. You want to do drugs? You want to go hang out in Reno with Chad and Atham and do a bunch of dopey drugs? Go and giggle like little schoolgirls, as long as you're not hurting anyone. But you say, I don't care. But the other thing is, if I have to care, now comes responsibility. Oh no, there's poor people. We must do something. Now I gotta go. Now I gotta work on that. I'm too selfish of an individual. I'm not a tyrant either. I want to tell a person what to do. The last job I ever want is be a politician, let alone a tyrant. I don't want to be Vladimir Putin. I don't want to be Xi Jinping trying to get 1.4 billion people to think the correct way.
I mean, yo, look, all right. So the thing is, though, is that you have to have these type of people, right? And I understand, like, you know, like nations, nation states, all these type of stuff, right? You know, states, fucking, you know, territories, all these things, right? There's different political, like, you know, I mean, ties and things of this nature, right? And we can say that, like, we don't like our government. And I'm 100% fine with that mentality. I fucking hate government. You know what I mean? You know, that's kind of my mentality, right? I hate the idea of us having a president and a leader and all this type of shit, right? So, now, with that being said, I don't think that we should have to sit here and I mean, like, I don't think that, like, we shouldn't think that there shouldn't be leaders as a whole, right? Because people need leadership. The vast majority of human beings are sheep, right? And you need those sheep because, like, those sheep, you know, like shit boxes and, you know, build houses and do all these type of things, cut grass and do all the stuff that you need done. Like, they, you know, they fix pipes and do these type of things. These people need leadership, right? At the end of the day, like, you have to have individuals who are going to be leaders, and you're going to have people born, who are kind of worthless, so they have to like have some type of guidance, right? And this has always been a thing, right? Like throughout, the history of the world, like there's always just been people like they found that like the vast majority of like serfs in like the medieval times, whatever it was, right? They literally were too lazy to grow more than what they, fucking had. Like they starved because they were lazy, right? This is a thing, bro. Like this has happened all the time, even especially in America too. Like there's a lot of people there were just too lazy to fucking farm, right? Reality, and I get it. Like yeah, like let them fucking starve. I feel you. I fucking feel you 100%. Like yo, let them fucking starve a little, right? Because what happens when we let Mexican farmers starve? Mm. Yeah, that becomes a problem for us. You have to be responsible. You have to understand you have ties to other shit. Other things are going to affect you if you don't take care of it. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you can't sit here and like, yo, let your fucking, let your car run out of motherfucking oil because the engine will explode, bro. Like, it's just how it works. Let's keep rocking though.
I don't want to be Joe Biden like, hey, you really ought to hate white penis. You really ought to hate people who work harder than you. You really ought to be jealous. I don't know. No, I got enough problems. And so libertarianism is just simple sovereignty. The ultimate sovereignty lays within the individual. And unless you're hurting someone else, all right, it does. Not only is it not your responsibility, you shouldn't care. Now, if you individually choose to help out someone because you want to, okay, that's fine. That's your choice. That's your time. You care. Go help charity. Go help poor people. Piss away your time. I don't know. Maybe it makes you feel good. I don't care. You do whatever people do drugs. At least they get something out of it. You want to help poor people and never make them, get out of pot. I don't waste your time. That's fine. But on a purely philosophical, political, it's the individual takes care of him or herself, and they are not responsible for other people. That's it. So he goes to, if we have to.
You have to be responsible for other people. You're responsible for your kids. You're responsible for your fucking neighbors. You're responsible. Like I have a neighbor, right? He's a fucking firefighter and an EMT. Like yo, you have to be like you have to help them out, right? Like they're busy doing shit. They don't have time and like they don't have all the time in the world to take care of their grass and shit. You know what I mean, right? So I mean, like I go and I help them take care of their yard. Why? Because like yo, it helps the whole community if I help him. This is how this works. Like I want him to be there when I need him. Like this is why you are responsible for other people. You cannot be like this selfish fucking attitude. This is why everybody thinks they have some fucking disease, right? It's because of the fact that like as a society, you're not an individual, right? You are part of a larger group, right? You're part of a heritage, you're part of a people, you're part of a nation, you're part of a fucking family, right? You have a culture. You have shit you're supposed to do. You're supposed to live a certain way in a fucking certain latitude, and you try to defeat that. What ends up happening is you end up with these massive mental fucking problems. And then everybody ends up on fucking drugs, right? And then you go, oh man, listen, it's not because of the fact that like, oh, you're a fucking person, right? It's because of the fact that you have a mental defect individually. You don't individually have a mental. If everybody has a mental defect, right? If like 68% of the country's on a prescription drug. Maybe there's something wrong with the fucking country, not the goddamn fucking individual person. The fuck is wrong with these goddamn fucking liberals? These fucking libertarians are so trash.
To take the view of do whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt approach. People will do drugs, drink, and not be productive members of society. Oh, well, I guess they'll be poor. Now, if you want to now put libertarianism in the context of the United States economy, which is what I think you're talking about, where you have people who do drugs, drink, not be productive members of society. Well, that would still be fine if this was 1900. Because in 1900, we didn't have a welfare state. State, federal, and local taxes took 3% of people's of GDP, of people's income. And so we had very minimal government. You had a little bit of a military, judicial system. I don't think we had a Department of Transportation back then.
Okay, look, I 100% agree. Like the way we do our fucking taxes is retarded. It's the dumbest shit. We should have a national sales tax. The fact that like they're standing here taxing your income is the stupidest shit ever, right? Mm. It puts undue burden. I've done videos on this shit, right? It does undue burden on like your fucking your fucking employer, on you, on everybody around. Like it just you tax federal employees. Like you're paying taxes on money that you tax, that you're paying people tax money. Like it's fucking dumb. It's like fourth level down meta fucking tax. It's the stupidest shit. 100% agree, right? 100%. Property taxes shouldn't be a thing. All this shit should not be a thing. It should just be a fucking flat sales tax on everything, and that way, like we all know what the fuck it is, and then you just work it into the goddamn economy, and then you eliminate like fucking all the excess nonsense of like the IRS and fucking H&R Block and Jackson Hewitt and TurboTax and all the people that do all this shit, right? You no longer have to pay for any of that. No, like, and literally then you end up taxing the fucking millionaires and the billionaires because they buy shit. They buy fucking yachts and shit. They pay 25% on that yacht. Bow. There's no filing. Okay, you're gonna pay it. It is what it is. All right, there is no fucking tax breaks for any goddamn buddy. And that way, you take the power out of the fucking hands of your representatives and go, well, we're gonna give you a $5 fucking tax break. Like that'll help you with your family. You can get an extra loaf of bread, right? Like these type, like fuck you. You know what I mean? Like they pander to dumb motherfuckers where they go like, we're giving you a tax break. No, you're not. All right, shut the fuck up. What you're doing is you're like literally saying, oh, here you can have some of your own fucking money back that you worked for. Dumb. Taxes are fucking stupid as a whole, right? Like it should be a sales tax, should be fucking paid out, into the state. The state should pay your goddamn local municipalities, right? And then like your local municipalities should probably throw something on top for themselves, right? Whatever the fuck it is. Let's keep rocking though.
But and more modernly, I'd say to have a functional state, especially if you're going to build roads and have some kind of regulatory agencies, which my libertarianism, I'm not an anarchist. I would say if you look at actual budgetary figures, it's 10% GDP. Curiously enough, $1 in $10 goes to the tithe to the church. All right. That's how much you need. But if there's no welfare state, again, what do you care? Oh no, there's people cutting off their junk. And it's not my junk. I don't care. Oh no. To show you how indifferent I am. All right, let's go through a scenario. Come on a journey with me. Everyone ready for the journey? You all got your journey pack sacks? All right, let's go. Let's go to this magical land called Minnesota, where all the men are ballast sacks of simpy wonder, okay? And strong, independent Whamans who all graduate from McAllister with lots of student loan debt, financed by daddy and the government. They bark the orders and they wear the pants in the family. Now, let's say, what would be a good Minnesota man? Yaden, okay? Yaden marries whatever the hell her name is, doesn't matter. Fresh out of whatever worthless degree school she got. And they have a child, and said child is born a girl. And at the age of 13, she goes to school because the teachers and the media and all that said, it's really cool to cut your tits off and hate boys. You don't want to be a cisgendered girl, do ya? And she succumbs to the popularity thing. Teachers are beating it into her. All right. And Yaden, the dad, she comes in, tells Mom, Dad, I want the trans surgery. Right now, that is Yaden's kid. There because parents are responsible, and kid at 13 doesn't know what they're doing. At that point, I'd say, well, you put libertarianism on hold. It's a young child. You say, hey, sweetheart, look, we'll love you no matter what, but why don't you hold off before you make a permanent life-altering decision? Why don't you wait till you're 18, see how you feel? All right. But not with Yaden's wife. Yaden's wife is absolutely 100% motivated and derives her value from edgy leftist politics and cannot wait for her thing. I mean, that's what people look at their children as things. Her thing to brag on social media about how her daughter is trans or whatever, wants the surgery. That, all right. I don't care if the mom makes off with the daughter at the dark of night and gets the surgery done behind Yaden's back. Don't care. Not my family, not my child, not my problem. Okay?
Well, you should care, right? And I'm gonna tell you why you should care, right? Because literally the reason why they're standing here trying to motherfucking get these goddamn surgeries is because they want to fit it in a goddamn corporate or a government environment, right? That's just the reality of shit. Right. And the fact that, like, literally that's what fits in a corporate or a government environment means that there's some shit that's fucking broken. If you had to cut your fucking penis off or cut your tits off in order to be able to feel like you fit in some fucking where, if that's what the education system's doing, right? If that's what the fuck it is, like, yo, our fucking society's trying to produce right now, there's a major motherfucking problem with your society. Right, and you want to stand here and go like, well, I don't want to be responsible for it. And that's the fucking problem, you fucking Gen X piece of shit. Like, just leave me alone and let me code in the closet. I just want to code in the closet and be let alone. No, all right? You antisocial motherfuckers. Like, I'm so tired of these fucking people. I swear to God. Like, yo.
Because it doesn't cost me a dime, unless they were going to pay for it with taxpayer money. Where you probably have a problem is we have a welfare state that pays for these people, that bails people out, not people who want trans surgery. That doesn't mean you're a parasitic. You have a problem with the people who sit on their asses, fake mental illness to get disability checks. Woe is me, I'm born with the skin color or the gender that isn't making me $100,000 a year with my journalism, whatever. You're sick and tired of paying for the parasites because now you are responsible for these people's mistakes. To which I would say, all right, well, then get rid of the welfare state. But
Okay, so here's the problem. This is why this whole mentality of not caring is fucking dumb, right? Here's the mental. You decided, right, that, like, our government, our society decided that literally having cheap goods was better than having families that had chops, right? And so therefore you go, well, fuck unions, fuck the goddamn fucking communities, fuck the people who work at these fucking factories, fuck all the individuals, right? Fuck everybody in, like, the whole goddamn fucking area. Give the money to motherfucking women and let them then chase them down for child support. They should be responsible adults because, like, if they made a terrible decision in going to work and, relying on the fact that that was going to be their job the rest of their fucking life, even though that's what their dad did and what their grandfather did, right? They thought that they were just going to have a pension. They were going to fucking work for like 40 years and have a pension and be able to retire and have a middle class fucking lifestyle. Oh, how dare them? This is why, like, you fucking people are so trash. This is why nobody likes libertarians and why you never get elected, all right? Because you're dumb and you're wrong. Like, legitimately, you're dumb and you're fucking wrong. Now, do I think the welfare state is fucking horrible? Yes, I fucking do. Why do I think it's horrible? Because you're giving money to women instead of men. You should be giving the money to men, right? Because if you give money to men, the men will stand here and motherfucking create families and communities, and there'll be a proper place to live. You keep giving the money to the fucking women, like, you're just going to end up with, a massive amount of, like, fucking crime and bullshit and nonsense, right? And because of the fact in Section 8 housing, men are not allowed to live there. They're hunted like fucking dogs. You just end up, just with massive amount of criminality in the fucking areas. Is what it is, all right? This is just how the hell shit works, all right? Like, yo, let's keep rocking with this fucking bullshit.
Don't say, well, we got to do something. Whoa, what's this we? And what's this should? No. So
we, right? Because there's a lot of people who just can't leave, right? See, you went and you made your money, you worked in the bank, all that type of shit, became a fucking writer, right? And then, like, you stood here and you became a writer and you ended up becoming a YouTuber. And now you get to live at home, and collect, super chat donos and super berries and shit. Right. And that's fine. That's great. You made a way. Right. But that doesn't work for about 99% of fucking people. 99% of people need to motherfucking actually live somewhere. Right. And they only have so much money that they're able to, live at. And the problem is with this individual mentality, right? Where, like, I'm an individual, I'm going to negotiate for my own wage. You really don't have much to barter when most of these jobs can be done by a fucking woman at this point. right? This is why there was fucking unions. Like, you banded together and demanded a proper fucking wage. This is why we did these fucking things back in the day. It's how you built the fucking middle class. And I know you want to stand here and go like, but capitalism. The vast majority of people had GI Bills, fucking like they had the ability to buy a fucking house, right? They had like fucking tons of land. They gave out land grants. All these things, right? Where literally where the government just gave away shit to fucking people, right? So that they could stand here and have the opportunity to start building generational wealth. Very basic premise. I know, like, you don't understand any of this because you don't know your history. You didn't actually read any of this. You just heard what Hush Bimbo said, Rush Limbaugh, right? Or you just heard, you know what I mean, what, like, fucking the other libertarian Prager, you retards fucking said because they're all dumb. By the way, Prager, you know what I mean, he's fucking on his 4 fucking minutes talking about Judeo-Christian values. The fuck out of here with your nonsense. Let's keep rocking, bro. Like, real shit.
You're now from a in other words, libertarianism isn't it's not incongruent without a welfare state. And now that we have a welfare state, yes, now we are responsible for paying for other people's mistakes. Whereas libertarianism would simply argue, get rid of the welfare state. And if people are going to make bad decisions, oh well, let them starve. And this is where I think if we were to go into maybe evolutionary psychology or economic psychology, you know, our main problems all hail from unearned money. You know that. All the people who can't find it, all these people, oh, I can't find a job. I have autism. I have Asperger's. I have Ritalin. I have this. I have that. I'm this skin color. I'm that type of gender. I don't know what gender I am today. Boo-hoo-hoo. I'm oppressed. Part of the bigger. I'm the white man. Whatever. All of it is because everybody has had life on easy mode, and it's the welfare. We've given them money. Whether that welfare comes from a direct government check, all right, or rich parents, which is also, and the parents don't even have to be rich. Just dad has to take out a loan to send precious little princess to McAllister to earn a hate my dad degree, right? But the whole point, no one suffered. No one has had their face, or very few people have had their face shoved into reality saying, hey, look, you got.
I mean, like, let's be honest here, okay? Now, look, do I approve of all of the things that I say? No, but I live in reality, right? I'm a pragmatist, okay? I'm from the Italian school of political theory, okay? Like, I look at things as how they are versus how, like, I want them to be, right? And like I have stuff that I go like, I'd like it to be this way. Like I'd like us to go back being like farmers and like be attached to the fucking land. So you can have proper communities, right? Where, you know, you're relying upon each other and be closer and have, you know, better ties and better families and all this type of shit, right? Be better humans, right? As in a general thing. But his idea of the welfare, right? See, he has this microphone in the middle of his fucking screen, right? This microphone, you know what I mean, was, you know, like developed, right? And the internet that he's using and the computer and the screen and all this stuff comes from DARPA programs. I'm just saying, right? Legitimately, like all of the things, and then like his internet that, you know what I mean, like he's using right now was laid in with like public grants, right? This is the fucking problem with things, right? Like these are all literally like none of this is capitalist in the end of the day, right? None of this is libertarian. Like if it was libertarian, we'd be living in the fucking 1800s, right? This is reality. You know, like, you know, most of the people would still be growing their own food, right? We wouldn't have supermarkets and supply chains because there wouldn't be welfare for the corporate motherfucking entities, right? Like welfare wouldn't be giving massive amounts of subsidies. There is no libertarianism. It's not even a real thing. Like, yo, all these fucking guys, like, you don't understand. The entire corporate structure is based off of fucking literal welfare payments. Why are you saying these words? Like, yo, what is wrong with you? Like, yo, for fuck's sake, bro. Like, yo, all of the shit you're talking about comes from welfare. The government is, literally, like, okay, here's the thing, right? Government spending in the United States is $9 trillion a year. Our GDP is 21 trillion. GDP is the measurements of all goods sold and produced plus government spending. Like literally like 40 or 50% of our fucking government spending or 40-50% of our fucking GDP comes from the government. We're well past libertarianism at this point. This is not that, okay? This is a socialist state. Like you fucking people are dumb. Like the real shit.
How to work and earn this money to carve out a living because they haven't had to. Everybody's just the government or their parents or a combination of both have made life on easy mode. And they've also conditioned and trained them to be immediate professional victims. Any way you can to make sure that you don't have to work at all, that you need a bailout, that you're disabled, that you had a disability because of a mental disorder or because you happen to like have a different gender.
Okay. All this comes, right, as a direct result of libertarian policies, right? Of this idea that you're all an individual, right? So therefore, society isn't broken. I have a disability. Like you understand that is the individual mentality about that, right? And like the whole like like I'm a female and like I have a hard time. That's an individual mentality. Like these are all individualist ideologies. This is what liberalism is. like fucking people, right? This is the problem, right? It's like these are all liberal ideologies. This is all libertarian, near liberal, libertarian, right? Get it right? Liberty, right? It's what liberalism is. It's about liberty, right? Each individual having liberties, right? Libertarian, right? Like I believe I should have more liberty. That's what literal fucking libertarianism is about, right? At the end of the day. Okay, and like this mentality of standing here thinking that, you stand here and you have like shit that you have wrong with you, right? Because the truth is society is fucking broken. But we can't have that conversation because liberals as a whole don't want to have cultures because that ruins the corporate mentality. Because if everybody's an individual, then they can just be switching them out like fucking ants. It's that simple. This is all an ant colony, right? It's not a slave colony. It's an ant colony. Reality, son. You know what I mean? Like, this just is what it is. Next man up. Like that's what this is. And so therefore, if there's something wrong, right? If there's something wrong with the ant colony, we're not going to address it. We'll just blame the fucking individual ant, right? This is the fucking problem, right? And then everybody goes like, oh man, listen, like, yeah, I'm an ant, but I have a problem like climbing trees, right? And it might be true because like you're probably not the ant that's supposed to be climbing trees. Like we think that like the flying ant, right, or like the regular ant should be the one that flies, right? And that's not true. Like all of us have our own shit that we're supposed to like be doing because we all have our own culture and our heritage. But libertarians don't want to fucking admit that because everybody's an individual and they believe in fucking, exchangeable baby theory. This is all fucking dumb. Let's keep going, bro. Like,
Gender or because you're the skin color, whatever it is, that's what they've been conditioned to. Libertarians to be like, yeah, okay, fine. Come up with all the magic excuses as to why your stupid decisions and your lack of work ethic has led to your poverty. You come up with all that. As long as there's a welfare state, don't care. I'm sorry, as long as there's not a welfare state, we don't care. But now you're saying, well, we got to do something about it. Oh, no, we really don't. And the reason why is baked into libertarianism is responsibility, consequences, which is why I'm adamant that starvation or hunger or homelessness and cold is absolutely necessary. Because let's say you come up with the most helpless individual, black, female, not binary, or
rock bottom transforms human beings, the beast. Why the fuck you think we got canine teeth? Motherfuckers will eat each other. They used to eat each other in America. White people ate each other. These people will come and kill you for your shit. You don't understand what you're asking for. There's way more of them there is of you. And like, if you have your attitude, your neighbor has your attitude, he's not going to protect you. This is the problem. And if you expect him to protect you and you start banding together, all of a sudden it's not libertarianism. That's fucking socialism to you, right? You're fucking dumb. Protect your goddamn community. This is the fucking issue. I'm so tired of these fucking people.
they're not straight, okay, with mental disorder and a physical disability. And or you could homeless people, oh my God, they have a mental problem. It's always the excuse. They have a mental problem. They're on drugs. Okay. Well, if you stop bailing them out, whether it's the truly oppressed individual, according politically, or someone who's on drugs and homeless, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. But when it comes down to death or getting a job, inevitably they'll make the right point. Mother Nature will take care of it. Right? The law of nature.
You do understand, like, yo, nature's a jungle. Yo, look, bro, like, yo, when a lion's hungry, he eats. I'm stronger than you. You're a little dude. You don't understand. You're giving up 100 pounds to a motherfucker like me. And it's not all fat. And there is some. You know what I mean? Because I'm a big dude. I'm an American. Right? But, like, 100-pound, 240-pound me versus 140-pound you, you'd lose. Get the guns you want. I can get guns too. And I can get way more hands. Because you can't get hands. This is the fucking problem, dude. Legitimately. Like, your fucking mentals are retarded. And I get it, bro. Like, you have some good points on some shit, but like, this is a dumb idea. Lose this libertarianism. Like, yo, real conservatism, right? Real, like, fucking actual, these type of things. You care about your community. Like, it's that simple. You have to care about your community. You have to build communities. It's that simple, right? But America won't let you do that. Because that means that, like, oh, you have to go, no, you can't come here. And, like, all of a sudden, the tranny guys that come in flying their gay pride bullshit, you kick them the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden, then it's, oh, fucking hands across America. Why? They don't want trannies living here. How dare them? Well, the Amish fucking do it. You know how they do it? Because all the land's owned by the fuck church. It's how you protect yourself. They're trying to break them too. Because liberalism cannot survive if you fucking stand here and have anybody discluded. Libertarianism doesn't want to disclude anybody. Tom Pease with Pnoid News, bro. I'm gonna fuck up out of here. I'll let you, boy. Like, share, subscribe. I'm out.